Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. I present here Vigor Medical. We developed the sealant port, which is a life-saving technology for thoracic trauma treatment and post-operative drainage. I have a special interest in this technology because 20 years ago, I served as a paramedic on a mobile intensive care unit, and we were on our way to a hospital after treating a lady with a chest trauma, blunt trauma. And on our way to the hospital, of course, there was a traffic jam, and the patient condition deteriorates, and she developed a tension pneumothorax. The only treatment for that as a gold standard is a chest tube thoracostomy, which involved a surgical procedure in which we have to insert a tube into the chest cavity. Usually, this procedure is being performed by highly skilled physicians, thoracic surgeon or trauma surgeons. At the time, we had it in the ambulance, so I spent about 25 minutes, trying and struggling to try to save this lady's life. I was lucky, but afterwards, they completely removed this treatment from the pre-hospital environment, and this is where the sealant comes from. So we are talking about the chest trauma, which is the leading cause of death until the age of 40. Unfortunately, we have 6 million people dying out of trauma every year. 40 million will suffer from permanent injuries, and 100 million will suffer from temporary injuries. 25% of them will suffer from chest trauma, about 20 million of them, and this is the third leading cause of death due to trauma. There are 4 million cases of chest trauma that are managed within the chest tubes. Now, according to the international guidelines of the PHTLS, the pre-hospital trauma life support, and the ATLS, the advanced trauma life support, we have a window of 60 minutes from the timing of injury until the definitive treatment within the hospital, usually, or any kind of surgical intervention to reverse the condition of the patient. So we are in a stressful situation. Now, the chest tube is a really invasive device, and it's completely operator dependent. We know today from researchers that it takes years to a senior physician to gain expertise in that specific procedure. Unfortunately, now it's very limited pre-hospital. We can hardly find that. It is time-consuming, and there is also a challenging suture fixation, which again, if you are not an expert in that, it's a big headache. There are up to 40% complications. The majority of them is because of tube occlusion due to kinking, angulation, clot, debris. You can see lung and lung tissue. Also, the drain can be dislodged or air leaks. There are only in the US over 1 million chest tubes are performed yearly, but not in the ambulance settings, unfortunately. Now, the reintervention to fix it are very costly and consume a lot of time. So basically, we developed the sealant that can treat chest trauma, blunt or penetrating, and the prototype is already done and manufactured. The feasibility was proven in lab and in vivo, and now we are transferring from R&D to mass production, and it is IP protected. Now, our customers, we are going to expand it as it used to be before to EMS services, ambulance services, military, medical corps, even disaster organizations today of all kinds of agencies waiting to take care of mass casualty incidents or disaster management. It enables the treatment and life-threatening conditions in the field. It is cost-effective, and it was published that only in the EU, the repeated procedures due to disposable procedure time cost about $2.6 billion every year. We now can take somebody that is not highly skilled physician, you can have end users such as paramedics or tactical medics and nurses, so they can be able to provide this specific intervention pre-hospital quickly. It is self-fixated to the chest wall thickness, and it takes 5 to 10 seconds to fixate it, which is extremely fast, and it's very easy to train the healthcare providers with implementing that. Less than 15 minutes, something like that. And of course, for the patient, we can put them again in the 80% chances of success of getting the definitive treatment in their trauma. It enables immediate homeostasis and a good solution for that. Unfortunately, what we can see here, this is the chest tube, which this is the gold standard. The gold standard today, you can see it's a lot of surgical equipment that usually is being done in the operation theater or the ICU or the trauma room. But it has no self-fixation capabilities. It is not user-friendly. Here we are Hermetic seal is something that's very difficult to get because of the suturing. It is cost-effective, and there is a very safe insertion. What we can see to the right-hand side, these are just alternatives to gain some time until the patient reaches the hospital. So the needle decompression and the chest seal are just temporary efforts of taking care of that. So what we are doing until today, we are going to submit to the FDA next year and to conclude our regulatory and ISO. Also, we are going to initiate the multi-center medical trials, which is required from the MDR for Europe. And we also started to talking about with manufacturers of chest tube devices and other emergency medical services kits, and to huge distributors such as North American Rescue or Safeguard. Until today, the company raised $3.7 million, and we got non-dilutive this year from the grant from the EIC of $2.7 million, and we are seeking additional $2 million to take us to round A. In addition, we can have additional 7.2 million euros from the EIC later on in 2025, later on. So as you can see, the market, this is the immediate market, is about $1.5 billion today, and the market increased every year by more than 5%. This is basically due to more diseases that you can see, lung disease and also cancer. There is an aging of the population, unfortunately war and natural disasters, so you can see increase in that as well. With future products, such as abdominal ports that we are considering to put into the pipeline, the market can be increased to more than $3 billion. We're expecting to be profitable in 2027 and to reach revenues of $67 million by 2030. Now, additional indication, as I mentioned before, can be thoracic port, not for drainage, but for other applications as well. Laparoscopy, robotic surgery, drainage for abdominal cavity, and neurosurgery. So you can see that. And also, we can use the same concept and technology with other EMS devices, such as needle for emergency blood occlusion, fractured ribs, and fixation device. So this is our team. I'm very proud to be among this team. It's being led by Irina Kavanovsky. She has over 20 years of experience in Medtech companies, VCs, in hospitals. Ingo Weisben is over 35 years in the business. He has about 15 grant patents. And we have John Abales, he's a doctor with 40 years of experience in private public healthcare companies with 10 exits. We have Dr. Ovid Cohen, he's a thoracic surgeon, and he is highly well-versed in the medtech industry with a long career in Israel and in the United States. And Amir Chacham is the CFO, and he has a lot of experience in M&A, fundraising, and financial management. We have a scientific advisory board that comprises of all kinds of physicians from the ICU to trauma, EMS, abdominal surgery, even neurosurgery. And we introduced the technology to dozens of others doctors from various disciplines, and they are very eager to start using our technology once it will be accepted. So thank you very much, and we'll be very happy to see you joining our journey. Thank you.